So good evening, everyone. My name is Carla Julian, and we are very excited to have you with us tonight for our 16th CAP meeting focused on the College Park area. We would like you to know that this meeting is being recorded, and you'll find this evening's presentation online after we are able to post that. We are also informing all attendees tonight that the use of AI-powered tools, including transcription summarization or other similar features, is prohibited by the Maryland Department of Transportation for all virtual meetings, such as our Microsoft Teams meeting tonight. For those who would like a live translation, Microsoft Teams format can translate this evening's comments into a number of languages, including Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, French, and many others. The instructions for seeing these live translations are being placed in the chat section of this meeting right now. We would like to ask everyone to please mute your microphones and keep your cameras off until we finish the presentation and move to the Q&A section. We would also like to ask that you please limit your questions or comments to one per person and limit them to 1 minute so that we can ensure that everybody gets their questions answered. Now, Marlene, a member of our communications and outreach team, will now relay this information to you in Spanish. Marlene?
Gracias, Carlas. Buenas noches y bienvenidos. Esta reunión está siendo grabada y pronto encontrará la presentación de esta noche junto con la grabación en nuestra página web purplemd.com. También estamos informando a todos los asistentes esta noche que el uso de inteligencia artificial está prohibido por el Departamento de Transporte de Maryland en todas las reuniones virtuales. Por favor, tenga la seguridad de que esta presentación estará disponible en la web de la Purple Line lo antes posible, junto con las respuestas a las preguntas respondidas esta noche. Para quienes deseen una traducción en directo, Microsoft Teams puede traducir los comentarios de esta noche a varios idiomas, entre ellos el español, árabe, chino, francés y muchos otros. Se están colocando las instrucciones para ver las traducciones en directo en la sección del chat de esta reunión. Muchas gracias. Back to you, Carla.
Thank you. All right, so tonight we are going to roll through an agenda that includes staff introductions, a project status video. We're going to touch on our testing and safety update. We're going to look at our construction progress and then look at all of our business and community engagement and then move to our Q&A. Tonight we are joined by several of our Purple Line leaders, and we will start that list out with Ray Biggs II, our Senior Project Director from MTA, our newest leadership member, Mike Ollinger, who's Director of Operations for MTA, Doran Basso, our CEO for PLTP, Hugo Fontierraj, who's our Project Executive for MTS, the design builder, Luis Rivera, our General Manager for PLTO, the operations side, myself, Javier Devesa, who is our construction segment lead responsible for all of the construction work that we'll be discussing tonight, and Suren Sarkissoon, who's our design build systems manager. The College Park stations that we're looking at tonight are Adelphi Road, UMGC, UMD, Baltimore Avenue, UMD, Riverdale Park North, UMD, Campus Drive, UMD, and College Park, UMD. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ray to introduce our progress video.
Thank you, Carla. So we're excited to share our Spring 2026 progress video with you. The Purple Line project has evolved and transformed throughout 2025, and now in 2026, we're seeing Purple Line light rail vehicles in motion all along the eastern side of the alignment, from New Carrollton to Adelphi Road. Our latest video highlights this incredible progress this year. We've also included stories that show how the Purple Line is connecting communities across Montgomery County, Prince George's County, and beyond. So let's go ahead and play the video.
I believe that this Purple Line will help businesses.
I think that it's going to make people's trips to getting to jobs and to the University of Maryland amazing. It'll be much easier to do shopping, get to the local libraries. And the Purple Line is going to be like a brand new baby. It's going to be so exciting. I'm I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. Yes.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Ok, la línea morada traerá beneficios a las comunidades latinas por el transporte, que se va a tener más acceso al transporte y más comunicación de varias ciudades o comunidades, y para las pequeñas empresas.
And I believe this light rail will be a life-changing. It will be a pretty fast speed.
I don't see a benefit for just one community. I see it as a whole. Purple Line is the community at that point.
And this will really improve the lives of a lot of people.
Across the Purple Line corridor from the eastern terminus in New Carrollton to the west side in Bethesda, the Purple Line is now in motion. Once, it used to be a segmented construction site, and now it is a full alignment connecting communities across Prince George's County and Montgomery County.
Earlier this spring, Purple Line crews installed the final section of track on Wayne Avenue, an important project milestone. With the rails now in place, the project shifts focus toward the systems that power and operate the Purple Line. The systems are what make the Purple Line run, from the overhead power that energizes the trains to the communications networks that keep everything connected. This is where the railway really comes together. More than 1,000 live feed cameras, thousands of sensors, and integrated traffic control devices are being installed along the corridor. These systems communicate with stations, intersections, and pedestrian crossings to keep riders and the surrounding communities informed and safe. Once testing is complete, operators in the control center will be able to see every light rail vehicle in real time and monitor activity across the entire system. Supporting those operations, the Littonsville Operations and Maintenance Facility is nearing completion. The facility includes additional storage tracks, maintenance areas for the light rail vehicles, and a backup control center to support trains as they move along the line. In Bethesda, progress continues on the station lobby located just below ground level, and as crews place tons of concrete for the elevators in the cavern, preparations are underway for the complex connection between the Purple Line and Metro's Red Line. Work is also advancing on the Capitol Crescent Trail, where crews are constructing new retaining walls, installing drainage, and beginning paving operations between Bethesda and Silver Spring. Across the corridor, crews are also completing sidewalks, driveways, and other finishing touches that reconnect neighborhoods and restore the streets surrounding the new line. Inside the Plymouth Tunnel, track installation is complete, and crews are now installing the overhead wiring that will power trains through the tunnel. With spring growth, the project's corridor will be turning green as crews plant thousands of trees and other landscaping elements along the alignment, restoring the corridor and enhancing the communities along the line. Through the University of Maryland and Prince George's County, heavy construction is giving way to finishing crews and the installation of complex systems and utilities. The elevated station in Riverdale now has elevators and stairs in place, signaling its readiness to begin serving the public. At the Purple Line's eastern terminus, crews are also applying final finishes, and construction along Ellen Road is nearing completion. Meanwhile, system testing continues along the Purple Line. Light rail vehicles have already traveled from New Carrollton to the University of Maryland campus, and testing will continue along the entire corridor in the months ahead. Testing typically takes place at night and is supported by maintenance of traffic teams and local police directing traffic to help keep everyone safe.
As the Purple Line moves towards completion, we encourage you to sign up for project notifications and to follow us at Purple Line MD. Together, we are keeping the Purple Line in motion. Here you can see our construction progress graphic, and as you'll notice, the project is now 88% complete. Over the last year and a half, we've reached some really important milestones. That includes starting light rail vehicle testing on the test track in March of 2025, delivering all 28 vehicles to the Glen Ridge Operation and Maintenance Facility on Veterans Parkway in the fall of 2025, and coming up in just the next week or so, installing the final section of track along the entire 16-mile alignment near Silver Spring. Tonight, you'll hear more about what's ahead, including the expansion of live wire testing in the Riverdale Park and College Park areas, and how light rail vehicle testing will continue to expand throughout 2026. With that, I'll hand things over to Seren to walk us through the testing and safety slides. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you again at the end for questions. Over to you, Seren.
Thank you, Ray. And good evening, everyone. My name is Seren Serkisoon, and I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about our test program. Very exciting time for testing on the project. As Ray mentioned earlier, we've started testing in the university area, which is a major milestone for us and a very exciting time for us. Next slide, please. The bulk of our testing emanates from our rail control center, which is what you're looking at here. There's a picture, a bird's eye picture of the rail control center and our main maintenance facility in the yard where our trains are currently housed. The lower picture shows our operating theater, where this is where we monitor every system on the alignment. Essentially, we monitor the LRVs, their movement, power system, communication system, safety systems such as surveillance cameras and access control. And this is our main OMF facility. It's our main control center. We also have a backup control center at Littonsville, which from a control standpoint is a mirror image of the control center at Glen Ridge. Control center is fitted out with everything that's needed to maintain the LRVs, including an operational train wash and a paint booth. As Ray mentioned earlier, all 28 of our LRVs are on site. They're at the Glen Ridge OMF facility. We continue to test the trains. They've all gone through their initial testing for safety and performance. We call this our initial acceptance milestone, and we continue to test the trains with other outside safety elements on the wayside with the overhead power system. We continue to test for various features of braking and propulsion, as well as with the communication systems on the wayside and at the OMF Rail Control Center. Our testing is planned and executed in what we call test sections. So each section, we've broken up the alignment into 7 test sections altogether. And each test section will test LRV interaction with the overhead catenary system, with the train control system that controls train movements, with the communication systems along the alignment. And this is done for a number of reasons, to expedite testing in an organized manner and a manageable manner, but more importantly, to minimize impact on the community. The way we've organized our testing in test sections, we keep the disruption to the community, section by section, portion of the line, followed by another portion of the line. So we are not causing too much impact or impact to the broader community, because we do have 16 miles of alignment to test. So we feel that this is the best manner to proceed for both the community and the project. Dates listed, bottom of the slide. As Ray mentioned, we've started that dynamic testing with the LRVs last year. We've continued to test. Section 1 commenced August of 2025, followed by Section 2, 3, and the remainder of the alignment 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all scheduled to be tested, this year. To stay with the theme of first and foremost minimizing disruptions to the community as we test our LRVs, the maintenance of traffic is a major part of our planning and execution of our test activities. Until we're able to get the intersections fully tested and operational, all test activities are executed with maintenance of traffic. Maintenance of traffic includes our own forces to control traffic as we move the LRVs through intersections, along with police officers, flaggers. There are intermittent traffic stops and some short-term road closings. Each segment or each test section of the alignment occurs with a very specific maintenance of traffic protocol that is developed specifically for that section of the alignment. Our hours of testing when we use an LRV are at night from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. And the other theme of testing that I think is very important is the community and the public should get used to the fact that this is now a transit way. Expect to see LRVs periodically during our test period as we move closer into trial running and an eventual revenue service operation. Again, with the community in mind, our test program includes extensive outreach efforts before we start testing in a particular area of the project and during our test activities. Everything from door hangers to on-site notifications. Some of you may see variable message signs posted on the right-of-way, giving information about upcoming test activities. UMD outreach coordination has been a major part of our test outreach. Everything from in-person to safety bulletins, safety-focused social media campaigns, and a lot of this information can be found on our website, purplelinemd.com. The other cornerstone of our test program, in addition to community awareness and community education, is safety. During and after testing, the public should consider all track and OCS wires live and expect to see LRVs periodically, either during the day or at night. Important safety reminders: when you see tracks, think trains. Get used to the idea of a transit way, coming to life in this area. Obey traffic signals. Always expect a train. Look both ways when you're crossing the tracks. Use approved crosswalks. Crosswalks are designed for your safety and they're implemented for your safety. Please use them. Do not walk near or on the tracks. There are a myriad of hazards, tracks that, it's best to avoid walking directly on the tracks. And certainly do not stop or park on the tracks. Again, a reminder that the overhead catenary system is extremely dangerous. It carries 1,500 volts of electricity, and it should be avoided at all times. And that wraps it up for me with a brief overview of our safety program. I am now going to turn it over to Manuel for some construction updates.
Hello. everyone. Sorry for not having the proper background. For some reason, it is not working today. But thank you, everyone, for attending tonight. I will just be explaining all the upcoming construction updates that we have in this area. So the first one is University Boulevard, west of Adelphi. So in that intersection, we've been completing most of the work so far. Major updates has been all the OCS poles. All the traffic is in the last configuration, and all the Adelphi station has already windscreen for our work that has been installed in there. Right now, there's not a lot of work that is pending there rather than completing the station, the different elements that they have over there, and all the Section 4 testing in the upcoming west portion, west of Adelphi. All the asphalt has been completed. There's been last portion in the Graduate Hills apartments that was completed back in March. And right now we are basically doing all the punch lists that I will do the explanation in the coming slides. All right, area between Adelphi and Presidential, basically the same concepts that I explained before. West of Adelphi is applied to the east portion of it. The pending works is just a little bit of landscape north and south of the curves that we have in this portion next to the UMGC and Marriott, and south next to the Baptist Church. There's two signs that they are going to be installed in the UMGC, next to the UMGC building and the Baptist Church. That's going to have a big sign welcoming everyone at the University of Maryland. That's basically all the pending works that we have in this area. Presidential, we have completed all the planter boxes, OCS poles. That's one of the same topics in the rest of the segment. Right now, we are fully working in the punch list. Punch list is basically all the upcoming works that are made for the final acceptance. So basically, we complete all the scopes as in construction, and then we generate a list of everything that is not being satisfies the proper quality standards, which is generated, and then we just close all the items. So basically, we are doing a whole program with UMD and with SHA. We're working all these areas. Presidential is one of them that we are actively working in all these punch list items. And basically, pending finalizing the landscape, there's going to be a couple manual gates that are being installed in the Presidential area next to the Eisenberg Drive. And that's basically everything that is pending there. The core of campus, UMD station. Station is itself, it's currently under the final touch in both north and south platforms. As you can see, both platforms, they are currently surrounded by fence. We just opened it for the Maryland Day, so maybe some of you guys already attended the Purple Line booth, where you could see the final north platform station. But besides that, everything is going to be kept surrounded by fence, just finishing all the pending works that we have in this area. Other than that, landscape, punch list, our main two topics, portions of work pending, and just making sure that everything is nice and clean for the university. The core of campus from Union to regions. We have, I think the major success was activating the traffic signals at the Regents Drive intersection, and that was the main portion of the campus where the OCS wire was installed. This is the element that allowed the testing to occur, as Ren was explaining before. So pending works, basically just punch list, landscape, same topics as before. And we are restriping some of the areas that were not in good conditions. Now that the temperatures are a little bit better, we are putting some crews there. So you're going to see just a minor MOT just here and there, retouching some of the striping that we have in this area. East of Regions, getting close to the Baltimore Avenue. This area is not fully activated with the traffic signals. It's going to be activated within the 2026 year. as long as the permanent striping as well. So everything has the final pavement, final layer of pavement, but final traffic activation and striping not yet completed. We're working towards firm date, and then we're just going to finalize everything. Baltimore Avenue Station. This area, both platforms are already completed with the canopies, as you can see in the picture. This is one of the main active areas of work, as we currently have our subs working on some steam relocation, permanent steam relocation. So most of the work that you can see out there is related to that. We are just finalizing to put steam line. Then we're going to finalize all the flower works in front of the Ritchie Coliseum. That's the south side of the Roseboro Lane in that area. Once the flower works are completed, just finalizing the works surrounding the south platform of that station, art in transit, and permanent striping in this area. Roseboro Lane, that's one of the portions that is pretty much completed in terms of works. Most of the works that are pending is the what you can see in this southern part of the image, the entrance to the Leonard Town building. We are strongly working with UMD to open this area that is going to be open in the following days. So there's a small portion of this area that's going to get paved in this area. Before that, we were working on the flower works, just trying to finalize the flowers portion of it. This area will be fully open at the time that Roseboro and Campus Drive intersection is fully open and activated. That's part of the same concept that I was explaining before in Baltimore Avenue. These two are going to be tied to each other at the time of the activation. We're just looking to complete some scheduling to put a firm date on that. That's going to get done 2026. Campus Drive. This area is within the permanent traffic, except at the Roseboro Campus intersection that I was explaining before, that it will get activated in this year. We're just working to finalize the permanent barriers. As you can see now in the west part of the picture, this is pretty updated. We've been working in the guardrail north of Campus Drive. We just need to complete a small portion of concrete barriers next to the MFRI area. And once all this is done, just completing the landscape. South side of Campus Drive is pretty much completed. North side, it just needs a little bit more work, hopefully as well within this spring. Everything's going to have a nice color. Grass is going to be growing, so we just can complete all the landscape. One, if you can move, please, to the next slide. That was the prior one. No, okay, thank you. The area in front of College Park Metro Station. So this area in terms of tracks, that has been all completed, meaning track, all the utility, all the OCS. This is actually in the College Park Station where we started the testing. The testing occurred between the College Park Station and the Adelphi, so this was the start point. That means that the traffic signal in front of the parking garage was also completed. That was the first intersection that we encountered with the testing. Final works are going to be in front of WMATA, so we're doing a strong coordination with WMATA just to complete all the flower works, just to complete all the permanent fences along this area, and just have all the permanent crossing installed. Currently, we have a small wooden bridge with with water barriers. As you can see in this picture, we're looking towards having the final panels completing this area, so everything can be as in the final configuration. In the station itself, that area also is going to have a big push in the coming weeks. Canopy, it's been installed, so the most part of the station, as you can see in this picture, is finalized. We're just going to finish all the different elements surrounding the station. Most of it is going to be the art in transit. That's going to be a little bit northern to the platform. In this area, we're going to finalize some flower works, foundation for the art in transit, couple of small walls that are going to be surrounding this area and final landscape. So we're just finalizing the scope for that and the schedule, and then we're going to have a big push between spring and summer. River Road area. We have completed, as in the predecessing areas, track and OCS. We're going to continue finalizing all the fencing and all the intersection for Hay Drive and River Tech Court. In the past weeks, we were completing the stone drain in this area, so we just need to complete the four corners of all the intersection and all the predecessing activities that is going to lead to the activation of that intersection. That's going to be part of the upcoming work. So we are talking with SHA to finalize a date for that, to see when they are accepting all the intersections, so we can just put in the permanent configuration. And basically, as in the upcoming work as well, we're just going to continue all the utilities part of the systems. In the station itself, let me just go through the upcoming work that is pretty much the same as in the previous stations. All these stations that we've explained before, all of them, they have the canopies, so they have like pretty much the final configuration. As you can see, when the purple line is open, we just need to finalize like small elements around the station and just finalizing all the landscaping around that. But pretty much like the final configuration is there, so you can see what is going to be in the final picture. This station itself is pretty much completed. So as you can see, like all the signs, actually trash bins as well, they're all completed. So you can see a good picture of how a purple line station is going to look like. All right, for the art in transit, as you know, we have different art in transit in all the stations for UND. The one in Adelphi, it has some nature incorporated into the art, some part of it that is going to be looking like leaves, so in the top of the station. So it's going to provide like some nice touch into the entrance of the university coming from the west. And let me just get to the next part of the presentation, business and community engagement.
Thank you, Javier. So our Purple Line Business Relationship Manager, Leslie Leith, works with the business engagement team along the alignment, alerting them to construction impacts and providing advanced notifications in both English and Spanish. If we go to the next slide. This outreach is aimed at minimizing disruption and maximizing awareness. Additionally, our team promotes businesses on our website, our monthly newsletter, and over all social media platforms. I invite you to visit our YouTube channel to see some of the business spotlight videos recently posted. Next slide. The Purple Line Small Business Grant Program, which is administered by the Secretary's Office of the Maryland Department of Transportation, launched last year and has since awarded a total of $2 million since 2025 to 180 small businesses. The application period for the second round will open up on June 29th, a little while from now, but online applications will be due by July 31st. And the application period for the third round will open on October 12th, and online applications are due by November 17th. No worries, you can find all this information on our website and the application link at our website at purpleLineMD.com. I'm now going to turn it over to Doran to talk about the Beyond the Rails grants.
Thanks, Ray. As longtime members of the community ourselves, Purple Line Transit Partners will oversee the operation and maintenance of the Purple Line for 30 years. So we're really pleased to provide resources and support to local community groups through our Beyond the Rails program. Since we launched the program in late 2023, we've awarded more than $100,000 to groups making our neighborhoods better places to live, work, and play. It's always great to visit with the grant recipients, as you can see from some of the photos there, and including on this slide, one with the principal, faculty, and students of the College Park Academy for their CPA Next program to improve students' math proficiencies. So if anyone on the call is a member in a group that's uplifting our community in some way, I really would invite you to apply for our next round of grants that is closing May 30th. So you can go to purplelinemd.com, click on the resources tab and scroll down to Beyond the Rails grant program. You'll find a short application to tell us a little bit about your community group and what the grant would go towards. And I really encourage you to get that grant application in before May 30th. This summer, our panel will evaluate, select, and notify funding to the next 8 community groups. So thanks a lot, and back to you, Carla.
Thanks, Doran. So as the project's in its final year of major construction, we want to take some time and share all of our outreach activities with you. Here you can see we're scheduled to attend 18 community events this year. UMD Day being one of those. Maryland Day, we just did that this past weekend and had a great outturn. Got to see Joel there, which is always a good time. So if you have any events that you want us to attend, reach out to us and let us know. Again, as we are in our final year of major construction, we do want to take a moment and share some of the high-level data of what our day-to-day conversations with all of you look like. We're working with residents, community members, business owners, developing our content engagement and community meeting and event organization throughout the year. So we just wanted to share what that looked like through our lens. This includes more than 200 events and tours, 13,000 minutes of CAP meetings, 34,000 inquiries, calls, and touch points that are resolved daily by our communications and outreach and business engagement teams. We've had 500,000 social media video views and 1.4 million website views. So every number that's presented here and all of these previous data points and your thoughts and insights highlighted here are important parts of the Purple Line story. And now with more than 88% of construction complete and 87% of our track installed, all 28 LRVs delivered and testing underway on the eastern portion of our alignment, we're even closer than you think.
At the Purple Line, community is at the heart of everything we do. Every week, our outreach and business engagement teams are out in your neighborhoods, meeting students, families, and business owners, answering questions, and sharing the latest updates about this transformative project. We love connecting with people of all ages, especially kids who are excited to learn about the future of transportation in their own backyard. Our team is here to listen, to inform, and to build trust with you and your neighbors. Your questions, your voices, and your feedback help shape the Purple Line as it moves forward to complete our goal, connecting communities.
So with that, we do encourage you to stay engaged with us. If you have not checked us out, you can register for construction updates at purplelinemd.com. You can also reach out to us through our outreach email, outreach@purplelinemd.com. If you're a business, you can do business at purplelinemd.com, as well as media. You can also call us through the following numbers. One is a dedicated Spanish hotline as well. And you can follow us on all the socials at Purple Line MD. And with that, I think we will move to our Q&A session. So the way we'll do this is you can raise your hands, or you can also put a question in the chat. So feel free to start doing that if you have any questions for us. And I'm going to move, see what we've got. I see Joel, you have your hand up. So Joel, if you'd like to ask your question.
Yes. Thank you for having me again. The question I've been trying to get, but I guess at this time they don't have the answers to my questions. But I did see some of the stations from the College Park, and the one I was there on Saturday looked pretty good. I didn't see any addresses on the Google. Some of them are there, some of them are not there. I'm going to complete the addresses, the physical addresses. And also the, I guess the fair won't be till later, but before it starts up and operating. Let's see. The, I guess they don't have the actual date when they start operating. Probably the end of next year sometime. I thought I heard it was like December, end of December. I don't know. Might be, it could change. Yeah, my smart trip, I didn't show my smart trip card. I guess they didn't have the answer to the fare, if it's free or not, to the metro access providers. Other providers like the Metro, First Metro Rail. I think all the county charges in Montgomery are free right now. I don't know if they're gonna go back to you have to pay, but it's free. And that's how I took the bus and the ride on. Ride on's in Montgomery County. The bus is in Prince George's County. So I guess that's about it. And once again, thank you for having me and taking all these questions. You have all
Thank you,
good evening.
Joel. Thank you, Joel. Yeah, I think we're still working through some of, as we complete the Purple Line, those station addresses will be physically on the platforms, and we're working with all of the rideshare apps to make sure that those are, getting incorporated. So I think it's just the natural progression of where we are. So as we get closer to the RSA, I think all of that will be set up for you, and we'll continue to stay in touch with you and help you connect to all of that. We are still shooting for the end of 27 to be operational. And as the fares and all of that information develops, we'll stay in very close touch with you so that you understand as that develops how you can use your fare card, and we'll help you connect to the different agencies for all of your bus questions as well. So thank you very much, Joel. All right, I see we have some questions in the chat from GH. Until the end of May, the Rhode Island Trolley Trail Bikes and Peds is closed north of Campus Drive for a bridge replacement and is detoured onto the Campus Drive sidewalk along the Purple Line. Can you please ensure your crews position the armed traffic barriers in such a way that do not block or narrow the sidewalks? The ramps at Rossborough Lane and Campus Drive have been blocked or severely narrowed. If the sidewalk detour is too narrow, uncomfortable, some trail users may choose to ride in the road, which is far more dangerous due to the light rail tracks. I think we can definitely do that. Javier, I don't know if you have anything you'd like to add to that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you very much for pointing this out. This is definitely that we are enforcing, like all the sidewalks, to have the proper width, and so pedestrians can definitely walk on top of the sidewalk, not on the tracks. There's been several activities in all the duration of the Purple Line that once they're completed, some of the barriers they've not been adjusted properly. So we're going to keep enforcing all our workers to do it, so all pedestrians are safely walking out there. So thank you for pointing this out. I also encourage that if you want to send us some more details about all these bridge works, and if you need some coordination with the Purple Line, feel free to reach us out, okay, so we can coordinate anything that is needed between the two projects.
Thank you, Javi. All right, does anybody else have any questions? Does anybody want to raise their hand or put any other questions in the chat? All right, I don't see anybody else's hand up or any questions in the chat. So if there's no further questions, we thank you all very much for your time tonight, and we always appreciate your patience. We know construction can be frustrating, and there's so much coordination going on. So we greatly appreciate our stakeholder partners at Prince George's County and UMD, all of the coordination that we do. So have a great night, and if you have other questions, feel free to reach out to the project. Thanks, everybody. Oh wait,
Thank
I
you
see
all.
one other
You have
question.
a good evening.
One question, will permanent MOT striping take blocking of intersections by traffic in consideration? Javier, I don't know if you want to speak to that on how we're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the message, Tina, if you want to clarify. So the permanent striping, okay, if I understood it correctly, permanent striping is going to go along with the permanent traffic signal activations. If you're talking about Baltimore Avenue, for example, this one doesn't have the permanent striping yet. So this one is currently blocked by some water barricades along that intersection. And this will allow traffic to go into this intersection properly without any blockage. So permanent striping is not going to block the intersection. There's going to have some lanes allowing the different movements north and south of Baltimore Avenue. If you're talking about Rossborough campus, that one has the permanent striping on, but we currently have some barrels deterring the traffic with the proper configuration of traffic, taking in account that Rossborough and campus is not currently activated. If this clarifies your question, Tina?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and clarify some more. There are a lot of intersections, particularly the busy ones going on Campus Drive and in Delphi, for instance, where a lot of people will run yellow lights and end up blocking, we'll say, the box, and it's a safety issue. So my question is, in your MOT plan for these busy intersections, have you taken that into consideration and provided, what would you provide for do not block the box sort of striping?
Maybe. Okay, what you're talking about is about some temporary works that we had where some construction vehicles have been temporarily parked while doing these works in these yellow boxes. The yellow boxes, I mean, are meant to not have any vehicle for the permanent configuration. So we will take a look also into every single intersection to see if there's been any recurring case, and then we can address accordingly.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Does anybody else have any questions before we wrap up? All right, well, thanks everybody. We hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and we always appreciate your engagement. Good night.